Washington Journal continues.
We welcome Representative Donald Norcross, the Democrat from New Jersey. He serves the 1st District, which covers Camden, Haddon Heights, and Woodbury. Good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine, thank you. The folks that don't know you, give a little bit about your history. How did you end up where you are?
Well, I started my career as an electrician in the South Jersey region, working up and down the Delaware River refineries, and became involved with the labor unions and was a representative out of the IBW for close to 20 years. And then I had an opportunity to run for the Assembly, which I did so. Quickly moved into the Senate, where I served the last 5.5 years until the announcement of Congressman Rob Andrews was retiring, and we jumped in.
And so as far as the way you view things, how would you view yourself, or at least describe yourself politically to people?
I like to say I'm middle earth. Certainly, when it comes to spending other people's money and the taxpayers' money, I feel that I'm probably a little bit more conservative side, but certainly it's about jobs and it's about education. I hear time and time again, whether it was my original capacity as a representative for workers or working in Trenton for the past 5.5 years. They're concerned. They want their kids to have the opportunities they did, and they want to be able to go to work.
So as issues facing this Congress is concerned, even as of Friday, one of the first votes you'll take part in is that of the Keystone XL pipeline. Where do you stand on that?
I have been in favor of the pipeline for a number of reasons. Number one, safety. Number two, it is about bringing jobs and making sure American-made energy is on the forefront. Not too many of us remember it, but the odd even days of gasoline, it really creates a nightmare to many people remembering that. And here we are now, the world's largest energy producer. We need to take advantage of that.
As far as the White House signaling the concerns about it, possible veto of it, your thoughts on that?
Well, certainly the president will make his decision based on what ends up on his desk, but I'm in favor of making sure that we move this forward. Now, is it the perfect bill? Absolutely not. The eminent domain issues, amongst others, are a great concern to me, but as a whole, I'm in favor of it.
We asked our viewers earlier about common ground possibly between the White House and the Congress. Talk about common ground possibly between Republicans and Democrats in the House specifically. What are areas, aside from jobs, that you might find some favor or at least agree on?
Well, I think that's important. My history, particularly in Trenton over the last 5.5 years, was working across lines, and I did that rather successfully on a number of major issues. Last night we were at the speaker's event over at the Library of Congress, making sure that we were reaching out across the aisle. There's a new congressman just north of me, Tom MacArthur, who he and I have a very good working relationship, as do I with Congressman Loviando, who's just to the south. I've had relationships with them over the last 20 years, Congressman Loviando, because he understands the issues that South Jersey face, and that's about the jobs.
Our guest, newly minted member of the 114th Congress, sworn in yesterday, Republican Representative Donald Norcross of New Jersey. If you want to ask him questions, here's your chance to do so. 202-748-8000, Democrats, 202-748-8001, our line for Republicans, and 202-748-8002, our line for independents. And you can send your thoughts on Twitter as well at C-SPAN WJ. Brenda from Beach Island, South Carolina, Republican line. Hello, go ahead.
Hi, I'm calling. I worked my whole life. Started out when I was 15 on co-op and went to school half a day and worked half a day, and then worked up until I was 48 years old and ended up on Social Security disability. And they have a 24-month waiting period before you qualify for Medicare or insurance. And then when you go to the Obamacare, you don't qualify for that at all because you don't pay taxes. So you're already in a position where you need health care, and there's nowhere or anything available to get it.
Well, certainly your plight is one that we can all feel for you. One of the major issues that, and I found this out whether it was my first year in Trenton or finding out as we work here in Washington, D.C., is that regulation by itself didn't happen accidentally. It seems that time after time that people who are trying to game the system, which clearly you aren't, they have to set up these set of rules to go through to try to block out those who are trying to take advantage of the system. The system is designed to help people like yourselves get through it. However, in order to make sure that the taxpayers' money is well spent, they have to set up these steps to make sure that nobody's gaming the system. But certainly, I would encourage you to reach out to your local representative to see if he can help ease some of the burden in trying to get the paperwork in.
Houston, Texas, Robert, Democrats line, hello.
Good morning, and good morning to both of you. The reason I called in was that the representative talked about being in favor of the Keystone XL pipeline. And what I would like to say is that being a former plant manager of a chemical plant, I'm well aware of the importance of pipelines. But in this particular case, we're going to construct the wrong pipeline in the wrong place to carry the wrong crude oil. What we should be doing is building a pipeline to carry crude oil from the Dakotas to the same point in the Midwest that the XL pipeline is set up to carry Canadian oil. And both of these oils are actually in abundance and would be available for sale worldwide.
Well, it's certainly free enterprise, and the route, which has been under debate for so many years, will never change people's mind who are against this. But when we look at the tanker cars, and I live in a major metropolitan area where we have the old tracks that run right through the middle of the city carrying this oil. Certainly, if we can put this oil in pipelines, by most measurements, most people believe that it is a safer way of doing it. When it comes to which oil, obviously there's pipelines running throughout the entire country. Most people don't even know which lines are running there. This is just an additional line that will help bring that commerce to the United States and bring more energy to the world.
Cherry Hill, New Jersey, Republican line. Charles, hello.
Welcome, Cherry Hill.
Good morning, Don. I used to be in District 3.
Yes.
And was moved over with redistricting. Now I'm in District 1 in your district. And I used to enjoy John Adler's town hall meetings. And I wonder what your position is on that.
It's great that you're asking that. We are actively putting together the greater town hall meeting, but we're going to do it a little bit differently. We're going to have the federal government, obviously myself being there, but we're going to bring in our state representatives, the county, and the local, so we can make sure that there's a seamless message that's coming across. So when you ask a question, we can't say, gee, that's a state issue, and not address it. So that is a great question, and we hope to start those before the end of the month.
The governor has just been elected the freshman representative for the Democrats. Tell us about this job.
Well, on which job? I'm sorry.
Freshman representative for policy issues?
Oh, myself. I'm sorry. I didn't understand the question. Yes, policy and steering, which is helping to direct, obviously, the issues that are most concerned to us up on the Hill. And I think I can bring a lot of the reality to this. Again, up until 6 weeks ago, my job was to find jobs for electricians, South Jersey. I know firsthand the pain that the men and women are going through in our district when they don't have a job. You give somebody a job who can provide for their family, it literally changes their life. And when that opportunity isn't there, it is a very sad day.
So what are the details of the job? How often do you meet with other policy members? What do you do?
We're weekly. It was much more during the last 6 weeks of the last Congress. We were going through a number of issues. There was a ranking committee campaign that was going for energy and commerce that we were meeting literally daily basis. But at the end of the day, we all came together behind Congressman Frank Pallone of New Jersey. And as we're moving into the new Congress, it's about committee assignments and making sure that we're listening to our colleagues on where they want to serve.
Have you been assigned a committee or committees?
We're waiting to hear that literally day. It's a three-dimensional chessboard. Lots of pieces are moving.
So where would you like to serve if you had your choice?
I have made it clear that I think I can be very fortunate in helping the military bases in New Jersey. I know your family's from the Fort Dix area, so armed services, and I certainly would like to spend some time on workforce and education.
Guest